different research institutes of different faculties of Bangladesh Agricultural University, directors of different academic and research institutes of Bangladesh Agricultural University, participants from public sector partners like Department of Agricultural Extension, DAE, and Bangladesh Agricultural Development Corporation, BADC, and private sector representatives and ambassadors, students, professor farmers, distinguished guests, print and electronic media, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to all of you again. We hope that you will be with us until the closing session of the symposium. In the inaugural session, we are very glad to have Honorable Minister Dr. Dipu Moni MP, Ministry of Education, Government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh as the chief guest. Honorable Vice-Chancellor Professor Dr. Lutful Hassan, Bangladesh Agricultural University, Mymensingh as the chief patron. Professor Dr. B.K. Bala, Chair, Engagement Advisory Committee, SIIL Bangladesh, and former faculty, Department of Farm Power and Machinery, Bangladesh Agricultural University, Mymensingh as the inaugural session chair. And the special guests of this inaugural session are Nazrul Khan, Curator, Father of the Nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman Memorial Museum, and former Secretary, Ministry of Education, Govt of the People's Republic of Bangladesh. Professor Dr. P. Vara Prasad, Director, Future Innovation Lab for Collaborative Research on Sustainable Intensification, and distinguished professor of crop ecophysiology, Kansas University, USA. Professor Dr. Prasad, Director, Applied Steel Mechanization Consortium, and Professor of Agricultural and Biological Engineering, and Presidential Fellow of the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, USA. Dr. General Harvey, Director, Future Innovation Lab for the Reduction of the Post-Harvest Law and Research Professor, Kansas University, USA. Today's inaugural session, we have a keynote presentation. The presentation is from Dr. Nazrul, Project Director, ASMIH Bangladesh, Principal Investigator, SIIL Bangladesh, and Professor at Department of Farm Power and Machinery, Bangladesh Agricultural University, Mymensingh, Bangladesh. After a keynote speaker presentation, we will go directly to our guest speech. Please hold your question until the question and answering session. First, we will get some time for taking your questions and suggestions. We would like to request our inaugural session chair, Professor Dr. B.K. Bala, to come to the dais and to give us the permission to start the inaugural session. Thank you, sir. Now, we will have welcome speech and keynote presentation from Dr. Nazrul. His presentation title is Agricultural Transformation in Bangladesh, Role of Appropriate Scale Mechanization and Post-Harvest Loss Reduction Innovations. Dr. Nazrul is a professor at the Department of Farm Power and Machinery, Faculty of Agricultural Engineering and Technology, Bangladesh Agricultural University, Bangladesh. He is leading two Feed the Future USAID funded projects, Appropriate Scale Mechanization Innovation Hub and Post-Harvest Loss Reduction Innovation Lab in Bangladesh. May we request Professor Dr. Nazrul for his presentation.
Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Dipu Moni, MP, Minister, Ministry of Education, Government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh, respected Chief Patron, Professor Dr. Lutful Hassan, Vice-Chancellor, Bangladesh Agricultural University, respected special guest, Mr. M.D. Nazrul Khan, Curator, Father of the Nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Memorial Museum, a former Secretary, Minister of Education, Government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh. Professor Dr. P.V. Vara Prasad, Director, Fit the Future Innovation Lab for Collaborative Research on Sustainable Intensification, Kansas State University. Professor Dr. Prashant K. Khalida, Director, Appropriate Scale Mechanization Consortium, University of Illinois, USA. Dr. Jagger Harvey, Director, Fit the Future Innovation Lab for the Reduction of Post-Harvest Loss, Kansas State University, and respected Session Chair, Professor Dr. B.K. Bala, Engagement Advisory Committee Chairman, PHLIL Bangladesh, and former faculty, Bangladesh Agricultural University. Representatives from development partners, participants from public and private sectors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, very good morning to all of you. It is my privilege to welcome you all to this two-day international symposium entitled Agricultural Transformation, Role of Appropriate Scale Mechanization and Post-Harvest Loss Reduction Innovations, jointly organized by two Fit the Future project implementing in Bangladesh. One is called Appropriate Scale Mechanization Innovation Hub. Another is Post-Harvest Loss Reduction Innovation Hub Bangladesh. Bangladesh Agriculture University, and sponsored by Fit the Future, USA, Kansas State University, ADM Institute for the Prevention of Post-Harvest Losses in the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, USA. It is our great pleasure that our Honorable Minister of Education, Dr. Dipu Moni MP, has enlightened this session and encouraged us with her presence. We are also honored by the presence of our Chief Patron, dignified special guests, participants from academia, research, development partners, public and private sector companies, and representative from the farming community. Dear participants, you will be happy to know that prominent development partners like USA, FAO, DFID, CIMIT, IRI, IFRI, who are playing an important, significant role in mechanizing Bangladesh agriculture and partnering this achievement for achieving food and nutrition security of Bangladesh and achieving the SDG goals. And they'll be sharing the development activities and their thoughts in this symposium. I strongly believe that this international symposium will open a horizon for networking among the stakeholders and lay out a platform for future collaboration in research and development, and help Bangladesh to achieve her goal to elevate Bangladesh to a developed and prosperous country in the world in near future. I am humbly invited you all in this International Symposium 2022, all the way to the end of today's program, and make this symposium to a successful ending. Ladies and gentlemen, now I am going to present you this keynote presentation. I will be looking for very shortly I can present. So the title of my presentation is Agricultural Transformation of Bangladesh, the Role of Appropriate Scale Mechanization and Post-Harvest Loss Reduction Innovations. So I will be concentrating on talking about the context of Bangladesh agriculture, historical background and status of agricultural mechanization in this country, transformation of agricultural technologies, policy advocacy and enabling mechanization, and sustainable service provisions model for mechanization. And I will be looking at this future agriculture and putting some of the conclusions. So let us start with this context of Bangladesh. So Bangladesh is a South Asian developing country. It is surrounded by India by the west, by the north and the east, and in the south, the Bay of Bengal. As you know, the Bangladesh agriculture is contributing in the GDP around 12.07%. Although we have achieved some milestones, Bangladesh is the fourth largest producer of paddy, third largest producer of vegetable, and seventh largest producer of mango and potatoes. However, there are some constraints we are facing. That is the rural workforce is migrating to the industries and cities and towns. In the year 2017, the total workforce involved in agriculture, that was only 43%. By the year 2020, it reduced to 38%. And it is expected that by the 2030, the rural workforce engaged in agriculture, that will be around 20%. So it is decreasing. On the other hand, the wages of agricultural laborers are increasing. And as you know, the post-harvest loss in rice, especially the paddy, is around 14%. And that actually caused $405 million per annum. On the other hand, the fruits and vegetable loss is as high as 20 to 50%. So we know that by the year 2050, we'll have another 48 million people. We need to feed them. To feed them, we need around 14.5 million tons of paddy, although the lands are decreasing by 0.5%. So in this situation, maybe the appropriate scale mechanization is one of the problem solutions to look at. Just I like to give a glimpse of this climate change scenario in Bangladesh. And the World Bank study, we have shown in by the 2030, the sea level will rise 30 centimeters, and by the 2050, the sea level may rise up to 50 centimeters. And look at this, actually, the temperature increase. Usually in the monsoon period, the temperature will increase 0.7 degrees Celsius. In 2030, in winter, it is 1.3 degrees Celsius. But by the 2050, that increase will be 1.1 degrees Celsius in monsoon and 1.3 degrees Celsius in the winter. At the same time, the precipitation is decreasing, especially in the winter. It is decreasing. And in other way, in monsoon, there will be heavy torrential rain. So it's really, the climate is changing and it affects the agriculture. On the other hand, if we think about the Bangladesh contribution in the greenhouse gas emission, so it is 193 million ton of carbon dioxide equivalent. And agriculture is contributing 39% of those. And out of 39%, 50% by crop and crop production, and the 50% is the livestock and other production. During 2000 and 2019, we have witnessed 185 extreme weather events, and that caused an economic loss of $3.72 billion. So as you know, in future, what we have to face, so we have to balance the growing food demand with domestic production, which is unlikely to be as smooth as in the past. So that's a big challenge also. And we need to ensure the safe food and nutrition security in Bangladesh. And we need to grow our agricultural GDP higher. At the same time, we need to enhance the natural resources, sustainability like the soil, air, water, biodiversity. And of course, the climate mitigation is one of the major issues. So in overcoming, as I mentioned, that agricultural mechanization would be one of the propositions. However, there is we are still behind in adopting mechanized and digital technologies in agriculture. So I need to give you a brief history of agricultural mechanization in the country. So the first machine used in around 1950-51, this country was then this Pakistan, through a project called Mechanized Cultivation and Power Pump Irrigation. During the grain 60s, the grain revolution, the government distributed around 2,000, above 2,000 power pumps, 2,000 tractors, more than around 14,000 sprayers and dusters, and established 2 workshops to facilitate the repair and maintenance. Again, that's the milestone that started the producing the spare parts and machinery in the country. So we have a devastating cyclone in 1970, and we have the Liberation War 1971. There was a huge loss of livestock. So after independence of Bangladesh, the Bangladesh government first 5 years plan, they actually concentrate on agricultural mechanization, and they distributed 162 tractors, around more than 500 power tillers, and in the coastal and border areas, and BADC has given the started the irrigation service in agriculture, especially the actually deep tube well, shallow tube well, and OLP. There is another important event happened in 1973 and 13th of February. The father of the nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur, visited Bangladesh Agriculture University. And he called for this technological innovation and modern practice to agriculture. And at the time, and he elevated the status of agriculturist. And especially the meritorious students are actually attracted to the agriculture. Now we have seen the effect of that visionary steps. During in 1918, there was a devastating flood and heavy loss of livestock, and government came up with some measures, that is exemption of taxes on imported machines, waiver of standardization certificates, and end the monopoly of public sector import, and the private sector is encouraged to import agricultural machinery to Bangladesh. And then we see in the 1990s, there is a huge influx of imported machinery, especially the power tillers, small engines, motors, and that actually changed the whole scenario in Bangladesh, and Bangladesh started its actually journey to mechanization. And after 2008, when our Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hassan was in power, it has got another momentum. And you see the Bangladesh government is now implementing a subsidy of 360 million on agricultural machines, and that is implemented in Bangladesh. So look at this agricultural mechanization status. If you look at this left matrix, that is given what are the major machinery are being used in Bangladesh agriculture, what are their number, what are the number per 1,000 hectare, and what is the power availability. So as you see, the power availability now per hectare of land is 3.13 kilowatt. In compared to Japan, it is 8.75. In China, it is 5.7. So we need to put again the agricultural machinery in agriculture so that the power availability will increase. On the right-hand matrix, if you see, we have already mechanized cultivation almost 95%, irrigation, covered area is almost 95%. Then insecticide application, threshing, we have a significant achievement, but we are still lagging behind in planting, fertilizer application, harvesting, drying, and storage. That we need to focus on in future. So if we look at this market size, the total machinery markets in 2011, it was only $1,215 million US per year. In 2020, it almost doubled, and it was 2,461 million US dollar. And you look at this thing, still we are actually importing 72% of the machinery from abroad, and we are manufacturing about 28% of the machines. But if you look at this purpose manufacturing, in 2004, it was only 89 million US dollar, but by the year 2020, it was 381 million US dollar. And look at this, the fabrication. We are now producing almost 77% of the spare parts in Bangladesh, and that is manufacturing locally. And we are actually importing about 23% from it. So what are the main players of mechanization in the private sector, the public sector, the development agencies and NGOs? So they are actually contributing. I'm not going in detail into it because of the time limitation. And if you see the private sector contribution, I want to mention that SA Motors, Meta, Lesku, Abedin, Banglamar, Chittagong, Builders, Salim Industries, and the local manufacturers, they are contributing significantly in manufacturing and importing, marketing, and locally it is manufacturing. In local manufacture, if you see, there are 70 foundries, 800 machinery manufacturers, and around 1,500 of spare parts manufacturing. They are actually putting the agriculture first and mechanization first. And on the other hand, there are at least 500,000 mechanics, 40,000 retailer, and 20,000 workshops are providing services to local service provider and farmers. So look at this transformation. Just go back in 30 years back. You know that all of us know it was a very traditional agriculture in Bangladesh. So from country plow, now we are mechanizing almost 95% using two-wheel and four-wheel drive. It minimizes the cost, time, and labor. Similarly, in irrigation, we have achieved a lot. In planting, still we are actually behind, but the technology are available like this, you know, the conservation agricultural practices, seeders, and others. And in transplanting, we are going forward. And all these machines, harvesting machines and other machines, these are all time-saving, cost-saving, and labor-saving machines. And that can promote agriculture forward. So I like to have your attention, you see in the post-harvest processing. So after harvest, usually it is sun-drying under the sun, and it is stored in the traditional storage. In harvesting, drying, and storage, we have assessed that around 15.24% actually there is a loss. That means equivalent to 8.4 million tons of losses of post-harvest processing loss of rice. But we have some innovation from this PHLIL and ASMIH program, our program. We have developed this BOS dryer and 12-ton capacity dryer, which is able, you will see later on about this technology. And there is a combined harvest. And we are also looking for hermetic bags to actually introduce in Bangladesh to save the losses. And then the loss can be reduced to 2.28%. And all in all, the potential save will be 7.1 million ton per year. And that almost saves 49% of the future need after the population. And if you see at this, the potential reduce of greenhouse gases, that will be 4.9 million metric ton of carbon dioxide equivalent per annum. And we can save, with saving this crop, 21.3 teraliter of irrigation water, as well as the fuel. So it is a great save actually. Now, I like to just give you a glimpse of this policy advocacy that we have made. The agriculture was traditional, all few machines were there, but we identified the problem, what are the appropriate capacity and model of each of this machine. Then we tested in the farmer's field. We have this technical evaluation as well as financial elevation. And then, the feedback from the LSPs, the farmers. And we talked BAU, our body is our partner, and we talked to our partner from the DAE and the private sector company that I mentioned the names of ACI Motors, Metals, S2, and others, others. And we engaged with Ministry of Agriculture. So Ministry of Agriculture convinced to promote this agricultural machinery. Now the transformation has taken place, especially when we shift from mini combined harvester to medium-sized combined harvester. That was a great shift of policy, and that gave us a tremendous boost in agricultural mechanization. And government, as I already mentioned, government is providing a subsidy in a program that is 50 to 70% on, and $360 million is allocated for next 5 years' time. Already, you see the combined harvester, they will be promoted 15,000. Already 5,000 combined harvester are at the field, and then 4,000 reapers at the field, and rice transplanter, it is near about 1,000. So I like to just have your attention. We'll be elaborating the next presentation. You see, one of our approach, that is the single shade service point mode. These will be revolutionize the total agricultural mechanization and sustaining this mechanization in the country. As you know, when an entrepreneur have 1 or 2 machines, it is seasonal. So how he or she will survive in the off-season? But if an entrepreneur have all this machine under the single shade, they have the capacity and they have the round year activity, so they can survive and they can promote agriculture. They can organize the farmers more well, so the synchronized farming is possible, and having this actual benefits from this machine is possible for the entrepreneur as well as the farmer. So this is the model actually, and the ASMI Bangladesh from our side, we are promoting this model. We are giving this actually technical support to this. Our private sector partners are providing, public sector partners are providing service. So those we call it single shed service provision. They're providing customized service to agriculture machinery or to the farmers. And again, it's a sharing platform. So others are looking and believing, seeing and believing, and they are going to start this agricultural entrepreneurship on their own. So that will be a sustainable mechanization from our perspective. We need to look forward. The whole world is now talking about this circular agriculture and smart farming. What is this? In the crop production, as you see, when there is a field crop or even in the greenhouse, even in the poultry and dairy farm and fish farm, there are some waste. But if we always take all this waste into the biogas digester and digest it, we have the gas. So that gas is clean and producing electricity and going back to the farms to sustain it. On the other hand, actually the bioslurry is a very good fertilizer. So that is going to the field to keep the health of the soil, as well as that the bioslurry can be used in fertigation, the vertical agriculture and the greenhouse agriculture. And there should be use of IoT, Internet of Things, in all this farming system. So there should be no waste, and that is the waste to energy as well as sustaining the whole system. So that's we are looking forward. I'd like to conclude myself. The Bangladesh agriculture is transforming from subsistence to semi-commercial agriculture, mechanization, and it is one of the, important drivers of the change. Appropriate scale machines have potential to save cost, time, and labor, and post-harvest losses, and add value to the produce that need scaling of through the private-public sector collaboration to extend to harvest the benefits of mechanization for enhancing the food and nutrition security of the country. Agricultural machinery spare parts market in Bangladesh is growing, and the local manufacturing has the potential to capture a major share of the market. And there is the potential to export outside. So, but the subsector needs intervention for a favorable business ecosystem alongside of the common agricultural practice to conserve the soil moisture and the health of the soil. So conservation agriculture to be promoted, and eco-friendly, the circular agriculture is now the demands of the day. We need to adopt it in future. Priority interventions like agricultural production processing system through this smart farming, precision agricultural, machine vision, nanotechnology, and control environment agriculture, dry chain and cold chain is need to be enhanced and adopted in our country. Private sector and public sector partnership, the PPP is very important and need to be encouraged. And there should be an investment in research and development. And finally, this formulation of national policies and strategies is really important. The fourth industrial revolution is knocking at our door. So we need to prepare for it and require this policy alongside of all the developments. So I'd like to thank you all for giving me this opportunity and listening me. I'd like to acknowledge the Future USA, SIIL, and the PHL of Kansas State University, ADMI, and University of Illinois, and Bangladesh Agricultural Research Institute, ACI Motors, ADI, and the SIIL and the Youth Network already working with us, and of course the my alma mater, the Bangladesh Agriculture University. Thank you all for patience here. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your nice and informative presentation on the symposium theme related to Bangladesh. It is time to pay appreciation from the organizer of the symposium to our honorable guests in the dais. Now, we would like to request our chief patron to hand over the crest to our honorable chief guest, Dr. Dipu Moni MP, Ministry of Education, Government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh. May we request our Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Dipu Moni MP, Minister, Ministry of Education, Government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh, to hand over the praise to our Chief Patron, Professor Dr. Lutful Hassan, Vice-Chancellor, Bangladesh Agricultural University. Now, may we request Dr. Prasad, Director from Appropriate Scale Mechanization Consortium and Distinguished Professor, University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, USA, to receive the crest from the Chief Guest. Now, we would like to request the Chief Guest to hand over the crest to Dr. Jagar Harde, Director, Feed the Future Innovation Lab for the reduction of food service loss PHLIL at Distinguished Professor, Kansas State University, USA. Now, may we request Professor Dr. Nazrul, Project Director, ASMIH Bangladesh, and Principal Investigator, PHLIL Bangladesh, and Professor of Department of Farm Power and Machinery, Bangladesh Agricultural University, to receive the appreciation crest from the Chief Guest. We would like to request Professor Dr. Bala, Chair, Engagement Advisory Committee, PHLIL Bangladesh, and former faculty, Department of Farm Power and Machinery, Bangladesh Agricultural University, Mymensingh, to receive the crest from the Chief Guest. Thank you, sir. Now, we will go to our inaugural guest speech. We would like to request Dr. Jagar Harde, Director, Feed the Future Innovation Lab for the Reduction of Post-Harvest Loss and Research Professor, Kansas State University, USA, to deliver his speech.
Good morning. First, I would like to recognize and thank the Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Dipu Moni, MP, Ministry of Education, Government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh. Also the Chief Patron, Professor Dr. Lutful Hassan, Honorable Vice-Chancellor of Bangladesh Agricultural University. Special guest, Mr. Nazrul Islam Khan, Curator, Father of the Nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman Museum and former Secretary, Ministry of Education. USAID Mission Representative, Mohammed Nurzaman, and thank USAID for your support, and distinguished guests and colleagues. So I was in a meeting with the executive director of the World Food Program on Friday, David Beasley, and he was telling us as a distinguished guest at Kansas State University that before Russia's invasion of Ukraine, we were in the worst position since World War II in terms of the danger to food and nutritional security globally. Of course, now with 30 million tons of grain having been stuck in Ukraine, we're in a much worse position now. Of course, we're also, as Professor Alam put in his very excellent presentation, facing climate change as well. So really, it's a perfect storm in terms of how challenging our job is today to ensure food and nutritional security. At the same time, I'm so encouraged and inspired by the success in Bangladesh in terms of agricultural transformation to date. I think that Bangladesh really provides an example to the world with the success of innovation and mechanization the broad uptake of mechanization and irrigation. And also there are areas of opportunity, as Professor Alam pointed out. For example, the low uptake so far of drying and storage innovations. So as we face the challenges of global food shortages, of climate change, and of other issues, we need to increase productivity and continue increasing productivity as much as possible using climate resilient mechanisms, and also reduce post-harvest losses as well. And so that's what we're here to talk about today. I think that everywhere I talk about the Bangladesh Agricultural University team as really the model for partnership and achievement. I really appreciate your leadership, Professor Alam. And this is really an example of how USAID funded work and other development agencies can work with in-country leaders like Dr. Alam. The BAU team are the ones who've driven these successes that we're going to hear about today and tomorrow. And it's the direction that development agencies, including USAID, are continuing to move to empower local leaders and champions of food system transformation. So thank you so much. I really appreciate the opportunity to be here, to partner with BAU, and to be a part of agricultural transformation in Bangladesh. Dhanyabad.
Thank you, sir, for your visionary speech for all of us. Now, we would like to request Professor Dr. Lutful, Director, Appropriate Skill Mechanization Consortium, ASMP, and Professor and Presidential Fellow of the University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, USA, to deliver his speech.
Good morning, Assalamu alaikum, Shuprabhat. We are really honored today to have among us our Honorable Education Minister of the Republic of Bangladesh, Dr. Dipu Moni. That signifies the importance of how the government of Bangladesh is taking seriously mechanization, agriculture, and building the human resources through proper education. So this is a great celebration for us today. This type of event doesn't happen all the time. And the commitment of the government and Honorable Education Minister to be present, you know, we all know how busy they are. They're every moment, they're 24 hours busy in doing the developmental work, especially for Bangladesh. A couple of years ago, when we were here, Dr. Lutful Hassan was present, we heard that the Honorable Prime Minister of Bangladesh, she has a very aggressive vision for this country. By 2041, she wants to make Bangladesh a developed country, which can happen in Bangladesh. Look at the people, you know, for us, I always like to tell a story. 2014, that was way 2014, when I first time came to Bangladesh, you know, as a director of the ADM Institute to start the post-harvest loss drying storage project out there. And we did that. And then the opportunity came to develop the new project of appropriate scale mechanization. And I started looking at, you know, through Google Scholar search, who are the people in Bangladesh? Everywhere, every scientific publication, it came the name of Dr. Manjurul Alam. He had written so many good articles, scientific papers, demonstrating the need for mechanization in Bangladesh. And we took his paper to write the whole proposal of several $1 million and added Africa as our partner. And we were very successful in getting the grant. So, honorable guest, you know, I go a little bit on the other way around. That is the story. And today, look at that. Both the Appropriate Scale Mechanization Consortium as well as the post-harvest loss projects have made significant improvement in Bangladesh. We always talk about, in Bangladesh, we talk about transformational technology, not incremental technology. Incremental technologies will not solve our problem. We keep getting problem, and if we just go one step, we'll be a long way in developing and making us food self-sufficient, and dealing with the climate change, and making the life of people and livelihood of people better. So that's why the transformational technology is our effort, is our buzzword. So as you know, we have all the wonderful patrons here, people here at the front desk, and looking at the team that has worked in both these projects, and especially I can talk more about the appropriate scale mechanization consortium with Dr. Alam and Dr. Saha, their leadership, and the Bangladesh Agricultural Research Institute, Dr. Ayub Ali and Dr. Ashadul Haq, and also BIRI, Bangladesh Rice Research Institute, along with the collaboration and support of the FAO, the USAID mission out here, and all the farmers, especially all the farmers and female farmers, which is very difficult. We have been working in Africa and other states and other government within Asia, but getting the female farmers to participate in this project and wholeheartedly working for bringing transformational change in Bangladesh in agriculture, that is a unique example. So my hats off to all the women farmers of Bangladesh. I was also, 2 days ago, we were in Mymensingh, and we inaugurated a new program called IoT-based smart drip irrigation system, for which those are the technologies that are going to drive the world. As we know, food is short, water is short, but the biggest resources that we have in Bangladesh is the human resources. And these are wonderful people. I was so impressed to see young, both male and female students, they're jumping into very critical research at Bangladesh Agricultural University, as well as many other, all the 6 other agricultural universities in this country. Another unique thing, and as Dr. Alam mentioned and will continue, you will hear the creation of the SIIL, which is the youth network. It hasn't happened anywhere in the world, nowhere. Even in other Asian countries, there hasn't been a unique organization that all the young boys and girls, they have formed an association through this ASMC and other projects at Bangladesh Agricultural University to come up, to take the challenges, to come up with new design, put innovation first, and to investigate and to dive deep into scientific investigation. So you will hear throughout this meeting, we'll make other presentations. I feel extremely honored to be here today and share some of our work and our team achievement. Our team, we mean not US team. Money doesn't give everything, but if someone works and I really like to, from the bottom of my heart, thank Dr. Alam for giving that leadership that is needed for us to move forward and bringing the young people and empower them with the tools for them to take the future of Bangladesh. So thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for your informative deliberation.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are really honored by the presence of our chief guest, Dr. Dipu Moni. I know she has many engagements, and so I'd like to actually request her to deliver her speech before the audience. So the Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Dipu Moni, MD.
Respected Session Chair, Professor Dr. B.K. Bala, Chairman, Engagement Advisory Committee, ASMIH-PHLIL Bangladesh, and former faculty, Bangladesh Agricultural University, Mymensingh. Chief Patron, Professor Dr. Lutful Hassan, Vice-Chancellor, Bangladesh Agricultural University. Special guests, Mr. Nazrul Islam Khan, Curator, Father of the Nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman Memorial Museum, and former Secretary, Ministry of Education, Government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh. Professor Dr. P.V. Vara Prasad, Director, Feed the Future Innovation Lab for Collaborative Research on Sustainable Intensification, Kansas State University, USA. Professor Dr. Prashant K. Kalita, Director, Appropriate Scale Mechanization Consortium, University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, USA. Dr. Jagger Harvey, Director, Feed the Future Innovation Lab for the Reduction of Post-Harvest Loss, Kansas State University, USA. Keynote speaker, Professor Dr. Nazrul Alam, Project Director, Appropriate Scale Mechanization Innovation Hub, Bangladesh. Distinguished participants from the USA, representatives of development partners, participants from public and private sectors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, very good morning to you all. I must apologize at the beginning. I came late. It has got nothing to do with the traffic. I'm late because I started late. I couldn't help it, but I'm really sorry I kept you waiting. It's a great pleasure and privilege for me to be present here in this very timely and exciting international symposium on agricultural transformation, role of appropriate scale mechanization and post-harvest loss reduction innovations, jointly organized by the Appropriate Scale Mechanization Innovation Hub, Bangladesh, and Post-Harvest Loss Reduction Innovation Lab, Bangladesh. I would like to thank the organizers of this symposium for kindly inviting me to this event. The theme of this symposium is very timely and demand-driven. This international symposium has provided us a global platform to exchange information, ideas, experiences, and lessons learned from national and global perspectives of agricultural mechanization for sustainable agriculture. I strongly believe that sharing experiences and research findings among academics, researchers, policymakers, public and private sector actors, and farmers will add value in adopting sustainable, appropriate agricultural machines and post-harvest practices in Bangladesh as well as in other developing countries. I'm glad to note that the Feed the Future program and USAID USS sponsored two projects led by Professor Dr. Nazrul Alam have been successfully undertaken in the Department of Farm Power and Machinery, Bangladesh Agriculture University. I congratulate Professor Alam and his team for their contribution in key issues of agricultural mechanization and post-harvest loss reduction for sustainable transformation of Bangladesh agriculture. The Ministry of Education, Government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh, highly appreciates this kind of initiative, which indicates that Bangladesh Agricultural University is not only the pioneer in agricultural education in Bangladesh, but also contributing in research, which is helpful to formulate appropriate policies and strategies for the development of Bangladesh agriculture and to attain sustainable food and nutrition security in the country. Bangladesh is predominantly an agricultural country, and about 40.6% of the rural workforce is engaged in agriculture, which contributes about 11.5% to the national GDP. Rice is the staple crop of Bangladesh, and we have achieved self-sufficiency in rice production. Bangladesh is the third largest rice producer in the world. However, we have some challenges, especially in appropriate scale mechanization from tilling to harvesting, as well as post-harvest loss reduction and labor management in transplanting and harvesting seasons. Farm mechanization for crop production has become an important issue for agricultural production and making progress in the country. Application of appropriate agricultural machinery in Bangladesh is urgently necessary in all stages of agricultural activities. You'll be glad to know that the Ministry of Agriculture has formulated the National Agricultural Mechanization Policy. And I think you have heard from the very good presentation of Dr. Alam, have heard about all these policy initiatives, which will guide us towards sustainable food production in Bangladesh. With the visionary leadership of our Honorable Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina, Government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh has approved a mega project worth about Taka 3,020 crore for popularizing appropriate agricultural machinery, where transplanting, conservation agriculture machinery, harvesting, and drying machines are being disseminated to the farmers on subsidy, along with other need-based agricultural machines. As I know, the missions of Bangladesh Agriculture University have been to develop the art and science of agriculture for the well-being of mankind and to educate agriculturists of high standards of scientific, managerial, and professional competence in harmony with the environment and to share knowledge and skills with world partners. The Ministry of Education appreciates the role of science and technology in the national development and promotes appropriate research by offering research funds through various agencies. You'll be happy to know that the Ministry of Education has taken strong steps for digitalization of the education system. The Ministry of Education is also keen to facilitate creation of intellectual capital that can address today's issues, improve the quality of life, and provide an engine for economic growth by facilitating research and development across the country through a program called Grant for Advanced Research in Education. Researchers and faculty members of research organizations and institutions of higher learning are encouraged to submit project proposals leading to solution of important national and regional problems. However, the Research Support and Publication Division of the University Grants Commission also contributes to the promotion of higher education through academic staff development research program for supporting regular research projects, research support fund for partial financial support to the research activities, UGC awards for outstanding research work, award of MPhil, PhD, and postdoctoral fellowships, UGC professorship, Rokia Chair, UGC Merit Scholarship, and the Prime Minister's Gold Medal Award. Agricultural universities and research institutes are working for developing appropriate agricultural machines. More emphasis should be given for developing local machines. We would like to see agricultural machines that are made in Bangladesh. Private sector companies are playing an important role for reducing the gaps by importing different machines from abroad. I would like to see strong collaboration among the national and international universities, research institutes, public sector extension dissemination institutions, and private sector companies for research development and popularizing locally developed machines. I'm happy to learn that such exemplary collaborations are happening in agricultural research in Bangladesh Agriculture University. Is happening in agricultural research, and Bangladesh Agricultural University is leading in this regard. The government of Bangladesh would like to see that Bangladesh would not be dependent on imported machines. Rather, Bangladesh would be a machinery exporting country after meeting our internal demands. Finally, I would like to extend my deep gratitude to the USA team, Feed the Future, USAID, SIIL-PHLIL, Kansas State University, USA, ADMI Institute for the Prevention of Post-Harvest Loss, University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, USA, and other organizations who are directly or indirectly involved in this endeavor. This international symposium has been a very good step in moving forward to promote agricultural transformation through sustainable, appropriate scale mechanization in crop production and processing in Bangladesh, and I wish this symposium every success. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to share my thoughts in this August gathering, and thank you for your patient hearing. I end by remembering with deep gratitude the supreme sacrifices made by our martyrs for creating this independent Bangladesh, and the man who called for our independence, who led our independence movement and gave us this, not just this independent Bangladesh, but also has showed us the path to build a Sonar Bangla, a golden Bengal, the father's nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman. I remember them with deep gratitude. Thank you so much. Joy Bangla, Joy Bangla. May Bangla stay forever.
Thank you, sir, for your deliberation and encouragement towards strengthening innovation and research for the development of Bangladesh. Now, we will have pre-recorded speech from Professor Dr. P.V. Prasad, who is the Director of Feed the Future Innovation Lab for Collaborative Research on Sustainable Intensification and Distinguished Professor of Kansas State University, USA.
My second thanks to His Excellency the Secretary of the Future Parliament, Cabinet of the People's Republic of Bangladesh, to place this region has been very glad to guest at this conference. They still the teachers of our product on the stadium in the time of the beautiful city.
স্যার এখানে দুটো অপশন থাকে না একটা স্পিকারে
এক্সটার্নাল স্পিকার
স্যার যদি স্পিকারে অপশন থাকে না সাউন্ড এখানে একটা অপশন থাকে না স্যার আমাদের সাউন্ড লাগবে না তো সামনে উপরে
organized by
Speaker আসছে সিলেক্ট শব্দ
এটা খুলে দিলে আবার অপশন আছে এটা খুলে আবার আচ্ছা ওইটা না এটা কোনটা দিছি মনে মাইক্রোফোন নিচে একটা একদম হেডফোন স্পিকার দিয়ে টেস্ট করা
addressing security, security in climate. I would have to think about the appropriate implementations, the impact, and ensure that after that, probably, with our implementations, status not. We believe that implementation of the system will lead to sustainable agricultural implementation. We find it excellent. Sustainable agricultural increase production, access to safe, healthy, and nutritious food, all people, all kinds, from the existing farmland, while minimizing the negative impacts in our environment and natural resources. In simplistic terms, it means reducing more from unit land area to unit farm. And one way to achieve this is to reduce more number of crops to unit land area to unit farm. This is where the mechanization plays a very important role. There is a need for appropriate scale mechanization in the front end of the cropping system by adaptation, planning, efficiently, and also at the back end by efficiently harvesting the cropping systems. We are able to efficiently do these processes and minimize the time taken for the activity, given an opportunity introducing new short duration and the crops into the system to increase the overall productivity of the system for every area. In addition, these tools also minimize the losses in save labor that energy the more productive innovative ideas of simplification, engage these people in businesses, and they can play an active role beyond this doing a life in the glorious. I want to mention that mechanization is not going to replace students, are not going to lead to the it will actually create more jobs, technology, and increase production. There will be need for more jobs accessibility in the space, which includes service provision, marketing, storage, capacity, increased production, lower freedom of resources. Things like this some small examples. In addition, the great way of engaging with and human agriculture do that and the business and the food because of the nutrition and looking at the agenda, you know that we will have extremely productive units. Bangladesh team developed short excellence in Georgia, new status and needs. Ensure that during these 2 days, we will have lots of dialogue, we will learn from each other, meet the goals, objectives, or targets, not only of your innovation lab, but also of the mechanization discussion in our respective innovation labs. You're already aware about the rules and objectives of your innovation of the mechanization lab. Each of them has chosen selected technologies of deployment in southern Delta region to increase farm productivity, and also income by empowering them Two primary objectives of the unit. One, scale selected transformational technologies in the Southern Delta region. Two, build technical and entrepreneurial capacity to service the region. Three, engage youth, nationalize that region. And four, enables policy environment prioritization. We know that in the past, many of these designs of these appropriate nationalizations, particularly the regulations selected to fully operated seeded, which is moving from phase 1 to phase 2 research remaining to phase 3. And other innovations which are at phase 4, meaning that they're ready to scale and deploy. These include the rice paper, the two-wheel-based seed planter, rice transplanter, and the irrigation pumps. That as you are using the service provision money, the scaling and showing significant progress. There is lack of how you are engaging to produce novel designs and ideas which is great. Another key achievement was the government subsidy program that provided 50% subsidy for federal combine harvesters and wages. Thank you for doing this. I hope that this will continue and provide benefits to producers, particularly women, youth, and Bangladesh. I would also like to emphasize that the key to success is that we can identify appropriate scaling pattern and ensure that we collaborate closely with them, there is a smooth transition in your innovations are reaching the end users. Please collaborate closely with all your partners to help with this scaling patterns. In addition, also work with policymakers and government to ensure that we will enable environment for scaling and support adoption of these innovations and removing the barriers that can hamper the slowdown the adoption process. Please engage with social scientists, potential scientists, and policymakers and keep them updated. Use the database connection with the private sector so that they are aware of your innovations and they are working with you. Know that you have achieved many successes and made significant progress in many of these objectives and delivered the progress. Now is the time of finalizing those and then documenting your knowledge and communicating your success stories not only in Bangladesh but also around the world, particularly in places where you see that these innovations are valuable. Please share your success stories and learnings with each other and also other entities which you see that they will benefit from this. Now, there are still some missing gaps and require need attention. I would like to request you to kindly help us to better understand the current ecosystem of mechanization in different farming systems in Bangladesh and in neighboring countries, especially in South Asian and Southeast Asia. We need to clear answers to some of the key questions related to microregions, such as what is the current status of migration? What are the most important input needs? And what are the current barriers? And how can we remove these barriers and manage them? Once you have these answers, once you have a discussion on how you can prioritize and identify the projects which can be transformational, in which ones have the largest impact and the largest investment in long-term influence into the target companies in the farming systems. Your ASMC is conducting efforts in Africa, initially conducting a round survey and later convening the summit with key scholars to determine opportunities and strategies to identify how can we address some of the gaps in time. I understand that such efforts are also underway by the Navy. I will encourage you to support this initiative and help us that is new information that will be further as we move forward in developing community scale implementation tools for smallholder farmers in different farming systems. Another item of interest to me and others to SIID is the good database of existing designs. We all know that there are various designs of different materials being used in different regions and different crops that being produced. Things are developed by very different organizations with funding from different donors, different times, and same doing. In some cases, we are able to be, and we don't need to do this. That's a waste of resources and time. One of the reasons why this is happening is that we do not have good open access database readily available designs. And this is really important. And where they are getting the member system, I want to make sure that you have a develop this database with open access, with all the information for appropriate methodological tool for the specific activity from planting, harvesting, and all of these. I know that the SEC is working and making some progress in this direction. And I just wanted to remind you of when we have email months, we have 67 months to complete this critical task. The most important is work hard, work together, and then we can all your standards that our donors so that we are able to achieve and continue to get their trust. Know that we achieved a lot of this. Now is the project to focus on living our substances. Now we can rise and other has human institutional capacity and talent. The art is creating inviting opportunities to you and receiving in addition, Lutful and new designs are setting all families and providing incredible options to generation and community, especially youth and communities. These have also been barriers to maybe there are barriers in learning, please share your learning that others do not make the same difference. Once again, I want to run hard. It's important international system. Now, that this event learning makes sense. And we look forward to reading the last projects and recommendations that will come out of this dialogue. This next week is stay safe.
We are very glad to hear from Dr. Vara Prasad. Thank you, sir, for your speech. Now, may we request Mohammad Nazrul Khan, Curator, Father of the Nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman Memorial Museum, and former Secretary, Ministry of Education, Government of the People's Republic of Bangladesh, to deliver his speech.
ধন্যবাদ। আমি বাংলায় বলছি, তখন আমি জেনেছি যে ৬-৭ জন বিদেশে আছেন। তো আজকের এই অনুষ্ঠানে আমি প্রথমে ক্ষমা চেয়ে নিচ্ছি, আমি দেরিতে এসেছি, ৩ ঘন্টায় ধানমন্ডি থেকে এসেছি। অবশ্য আমার ভুল, গুগল ফলো করিনি, নিজের বুদ্ধি ফলো করেছি। তো অনারেবল চিফ গেস্ট উনি একটু আগেই চলে গেছেন। সেশন চেয়ার ডক্টর বি.কে. বালা এবং আমাদের যিনি চিফ পেট্রন, আমাদের ভ্যালিয়েন্ট ভাইস চ্যান্সেলর বাংলাদেশ এগ্রিকালচার ইউনিভার্সিটি, কিনোট স্পিকার আমার প্রিয় ডক্টর মোহাম্মদ মঞ্জুরুল আলম সাহেব, স্পেশাল গেস্ট আছেন ডক্টর প্রশান্ত কুমার কালিতা, স্পেশাল গেস্ট আছেন ডক্টর জাগার হারবে, ডাইরেক্টর ফিড অ্যান্ড ফিউচার ইনোভেশন, আমার সামনেই বাংলাদেশের আমার মনে হয় এত বড় গ্যাদারিং রিসার্চার এবং ইনোভেটরদের আমি পাইনি। তো আমি খুব সংক্ষেপে বলবো, বেশি কথা বলবো না। কোভিড হওয়ার পরে আমি নিজে একটা ছোট ফার্ম করছি আমার নিজের কনজামশনের জন্য। তো আমার নিজের কনজামশনেরও বেশি হয়, কিন্তু আমি আপনাদেরকে বলি, অভিজ্ঞতাটা বলি। যদিও আমি একটা ফার্মিং ফ্যামিলি থেকে এসেছি, আখ লাগিয়েছিলাম চিবিয়ে খাওয়ার আখ, কিন্তু একেবারে জিরো, সব ইঁদুরে খেয়ে নিয়েছে। প্রায় 1 কেজি ওজনের ইঁদুর ওখানে আছে, ইঁদুরে খেয়েছে। একটু সেক্লুডেড জায়গা, নদীর ধারে। তারপর আমি আরেকটা জিনিস খেয়াল করি যে আমি নাম ভুলে গেছি, লন্ডনে গেলে দোকান আছে, ওখানে গেলে সব এগ্রিকালচারাল জিনিসপত্র পাওয়া যায়, ডিআইওয়াই এর মতো। নামটা আমার মনে পড়ছে না, আমি গত 1 মাস আগেও গিয়েছিলাম। তো আমাদের যে জামরুল হয়, ওয়াক্স অ্যাপেল সম্ভবত বলে, আমি যেখানে এখন কাজ করছি মিউজিয়ামে, ওখানেও জামরুল হয়, কিন্তু আমরা ঠিকমতো খেতে পারি না। তার কারণ হয় আধা পাকা, তাই পাড়তে হয় ঝাঁকা টাকা দিয়ে কিংবা অন্যভাবে। কিন্তু আমাদের দেশে ওরকম কিন্তু এক বিটার একটা লাঠির মাথায় দিয়ে আমি ওদের দেখেছি, ওরা পারে, ইউরোপিয়ানরা। এটা এরকম আমাদের নেই। সিম্পল, কিন্তু একটা মার্কেটে আসলে নেই। সিম্পল একটা ইনোভেশনের দরকার। আমাদের ছোটবেলায় যে একেবারে ডাসা জাম খেতাম, কালো জাম, এখন মুখে কষ্ট লাগে, কারণ ওই জাম আর হয় না, কাঁচাটাই পেড়ে এনে বিক্রি করে। পাড়ার ওই মেকানিজম নেই কিন্তু হারভেস্টিং, সত্যি বলতে কি, ইন রিয়ালিটি। তো এরকম আমি আরো অনেক উদাহরণ দিতে পারবো। এখন আমাদের অবশ্য হারভেস্টিং সহজ করার জন্য ছোট ছোট আম গাছ লাগাই, কিন্তু আমাদের বাড়িতে এমন একটা আম গাছ ছিল যে অন্তত 4 ট্রাক আম হতো, কিন্তু উঠে পাড়তে হতো। ওইভাবে কোনো মেকানিক্যাল ব্যবস্থা ছিল না। নারকেলের অবস্থা কিন্তু এখনো তাই। তো আমি এই অবস্থায়, আমি অবশ্য ভিজিট করেছি, আমার মনে হয় যে অত্যন্ত একটা প্রয়োজনীয় একটা ইনোভেশন এবং রিসার্চের দিকে ডক্টর মঞ্জুরুল আলম সাহেব কাজ করছেন, এবং এগ্রিকালচার ইউনিভার্সিটি। আমাদের মনে হয় এগ্রিকালচার ইউনিভার্সিটি অনেক আছে, কিন্তু এটা অনেক পুরনো, এবং বাংলাদেশের স্থিতিশীলতার জন্য এটা একটা বড় কাজ করে যাচ্ছে। তখন আমাদের অভিজ্ঞতায় দেখেছি, আমি সারা জীবন আমার চাকরির 9 মাসের পরের থেকে পলিটিক্যাল লোকের সাথে কাজ করি। তো আমরা লক্ষ্য করেছি, যখনই when there is food availability problem, I found some unrest in the country. আমাদের কোভিডের সময় বড় ধরনের সমস্যা হয়নি, তার কারণ আমাদের এগ্রিকালচারাল সাপ্লাই, ফুড এবং আদার সারটার সাপ্লাই ভালো ছিল। এটা গেল একটা বিষয়। আরেকটা হচ্ছে, দুইটাই মেকানিক্যাল দিক থেকেও আমরা সত্যি বলতে কি অনেক পিছিয়ে আছে। তার কারণ আমাদের একাডেমিয়ার সাথে ইন্ডাস্ট্রি যারা ইনভেস্ট করে, তাদের এগিয়ে আসাও দরকার। শুধু ইনোভেশন হলে হবে না, ইনোভেশনের এটা ডেসিমিনেশন বা ডিফিউশনও হতে হবে। এই ডিফিউশন হতে হলে কিছু লোকের দরকার যারা ইনভেস্ট করবে, রিস্ক নেবে, না নিলে হবে না। তো আমি বলবো আজকে আমাদের এখানে যারা আছেন অনেকেই নামি দামি, আমাদের একটা নেটওয়ার্কিং আসলে করা দরকার। আমি লক্ষ্য করেছি প্রধানমন্ত্রী কিন্তু সিরিয়াস কিন ইন্টারেস্ট আছে এগ্রিকালচারে। মতিয়া চৌধুরী আর উনি ছিলেন আমাদের প্রাক্তন, যিনি অর্থমন্ত্রী ছিলেন, সাবসিডি দিতে চাইতেন না সবসময়, বিদেশিও চাপ টাপ ছিল হয়তোবা। তো তখন একেবারেই নাসুর বান্দা, খুব জোরে সোরে বলতেন না, এখানে দিতেই হবে। এগ্রিকালচারের পরে আসল নজর আছে, কিন্তু আমাদের অনেকের কিন্তু ধারণাটা নেই যে আমাদের এগ্রিকালচার মেকানাইজেশন দরকার, পার্টিকুলারলি যারা পলিসি মেকার, সচিব আছেন, মন্ত্রী আছেন যারা। আর একটা জিনিস হচ্ছে, পোস্ট হারভেস্টে যে হিউজ পরিমাণ লস হয়, এটা সম্পর্কেও ধারণা নেই। আমি বলবো আমাদের আরো রিসার্চ করা দরকার, পার্টিকুলারলি বায়োটিক কন্ট্রোলের দিকে। তার কারণ আমি পেস্টিসাইড ইউজ করি না, কিন্তু আমি দেখেছি আমার এখানে বেশিরভাগ লস হয়ে যায়। তো র্যাম্প্যান্টলি পেস্টিসাইড ইউজ করে। তো আমি বলবো এই দিকেও আমাদের বড় কাজ করা দরকার। বায়োটিক কন্ট্রোলে কতদূর কি করা যায়। শ্রীলঙ্কার এই বিপর্যয়ের পরে অনেকেই নেগেটিভলি বলেন, কিন্তু আমার বায়োলজি ব্যাকগ্রাউন্ড, কিন্তু সেজন্য আমার মনে হয় না যে এটা এই দিক থেকে বিরত থাকা দরকার। আমাদের এই দিকে আরো আগানো দরকার আমার মনে হয়। আমি 2 মাস আগে কিউবায় গেছিলাম, সেখানে তো দেখলাম যে খুব সুন্দর সুস্বাদু সবকিছু, এবং ওরা বেশ ভালোভাবেই ইউজ করছে, তবে কিছু বিষয় আছে আমার মনে হলো, সন্দেহ হলো যে তাদের সমস্যা আছে, যেমন বেগুন বাজারে তেমন একটা পাওয়া যায় না, এরকম কিছু সবজি পাওয়া যায় না। আমি এখানেই শেষ করব। আমি আবারও ক্ষমা প্রার্থী যে দেরিতে এসেছি। আর যারা particularly our foreign guests, I would apologize to them because I am speaking in English. Sorry, I am speaking in Bangla because I feel comfortable in Bangla. So sorry for that. And again, I apologize for the second time for speaking in Bangla. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Muhammad Nazrul Khan, sir, for joining with us. It is our pleasure to hear from you. Our chief patron of the inaugural session is Professor Dr. Lutful Hassan. Professor Dr. Lutful Hassan is the Vice-Chancellor of the Bangladesh Agricultural University and served as a professor at the Department of Genetics and Plant Breeding, Faculty of Agriculture, Bangladesh Agricultural University. It is our pleasure to invite the chief patron to deliver his speech.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Respected chairs, Professor Dr. B.K. Bala, Chairman Engagement Advisory Committee, SIIL Bangladesh, and former faculty, Department of Farm Power and Machinery, Bangladesh Agricultural University, Mymensingh, and the Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. Dipu Moni, MP, Honorable Minister, Ministry of Education, Government of People's Republic of Bangladesh, and respectful guests of our special guests, Dr. MD Nazrul Khan is the Curator, Father of the Nation, Bangabandhu Sheikh, Mujibur Rahman Memorial Museum, and former Secretary, Ministry of Education, Government of People's Republic of Bangladesh, Dr. P.V. Vara Prasad, Director, Feed the Future Innovation Lab of Collaboration Research on Sustainable Intensification, Kansas State University, United States of America, and then Dr. Prasad K. Kalita, Director, Appropriate Scale Mechanization Consortium, University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, United States of America, and Dr. Jagar Harvey, Director, Feed the Future Innovation Lab for the Reduction of Post-Harvest Loss, Kansas State University, United States of America. And honorable audience, and our high officials, and the respected guests from other organizations, very good morning to all of you. Today we are much more delighted. First of all, I would like to congratulate Dr. Mujibur, who is the keynote speaker of Dr. Mujibur is the welcome speech and keynote presentation was made by Dr. Mujibur, and you have seen a very comprehensive presentation and full of information on mechanization, how this project is working, and not only that, what will be the future agriculture that has been presented by Dr. Mujibur in a very precise way, in a very nice way. We are highly impressed. And I would like to extend my thanks to Dr. Mujibur from the Bangladesh Agricultural University family, that he has taken leadership to shape up this transformation in agriculture through this mechanization. This is very much important. And he is giving leadership not only in Bangladesh, he is giving leadership globally, and also he has performances in other countries in South Asia. So the team which has been formed under the leadership of this project, where you can see that in Bangladesh there are private sectors involved over here, 3-4 over there, and then the University of Illinois, Kansas State University, and other universities. So this is a very good team, and you will be very happy to hear that we have very good collaboration with all these universities. Everybody came to Bangladesh Agricultural University, they saw the facilities, they saw the manpower, they saw the knowledge of the teachers and the students, and they are highly satisfied with everything of BAU. That is the proud of BAU actually. That we want to see that BAU is not only ranking in the world ranking universities or whatever, but they are working, they have pinpointed the problems of Bangladesh, and not only that, they are working very hard to materialize the things. That is why, as you said, Dr. Enai Khan, you know, he's a very renowned, he was the Secretary of Ministry of Education. Now he has pointed out that it is the BAU who took the role, and due to the fact that the invention and the research achievements of BAU during COVID situation, we contributed a lot. And all this came, and now there is a recession, you know, throughout the world, everywhere, not only in Bangladesh. Everywhere there is economic recession and other things. But in our opinion, this type of project, this type of leadership, this type of contribution will definitely contribute in Bangladesh agriculture. And the Bangladesh agricultural production system will say that, yes, this is the true things, and we should go transparently to address all the problems. And accordingly, Bangladesh will be benefited out of that. So, Honorable Minister also spoke very high about Bangladesh Agricultural University, also spoke very high about this project, also spoke about the conclusion, whatever she saw in the project. All this will be materialized in Bangladesh for the progress and for the poor people or for the poor farmers of Bangladesh in the remote areas or everywhere. So I would like to extend our thanks to our foreign guests. Particularly, we are very much associated with Dr. Kalita, and he is a very good friend of us, and all other persons who arrived from abroad. We would like to extend our thanks to all of you. And particularly, I would like to extend thanks to Dr. Nazrul Islam Khan, Dr. Enai Khan, who is also a very good friend of Bangladesh Agricultural University family. And he is still now, he is helping us in many ways. I think day before yesterday, we visited his office. And you will be here to happy that we got the permission to do a very good structure on Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujibur Rahman, father of the nation, who has declared that the agricultural graduate will be ranked to class 1 officer in 1973, 13th of February. And on that place, we will make that. So we got the permission from, he is the secretary of the trustee, and he gave us the permission with due permission from our Honorable Prime Minister. So this is a very good news for Bangladesh Agricultural University. We would like to extend thanks, Dr. Enai Khan, and who is a very good friend of Bangladesh Agricultural University. So with these few words, I would like to conclude once again. Those who are teachers from Bangladesh Agricultural University, they are here. And I would like to extend thanks to Dr. Alam again and the team who is working with him, particularly all the teachers and the students. They are working with this team. And I would like to extend my thanks to all of you that you made it a very, very successful meeting. I already told it to the Minister, Honorable Minister of Education, that this very successful meeting we are holding today from the side of BAU. And the BAU family is much grateful for your, because she came on she is on a very, very busy schedule. She will be leaving Bangladesh today at 9 o'clock is her flight, but still then she made this. So you can understand how much, in what way she is evaluating Bangladesh Agricultural University. I think that is the impression of yourself also, those who are working in different organizations, particularly DAE, BADC, Bangladesh Research Institute, BARI, and all other stakeholders, those who are involved in this process. You will be very happy to hear that everybody has full respect on Bangladesh Agricultural University and their scientists and their students and the other employees of the university. So in this way, we would like to work together with making a full collaboration with everybody. For example, this is a very highly collaborative project which has been taken where all these stakeholders are involved. So we want to work with everybody. So it's an open place. Bangladesh Agricultural University is always open to do collaboration with domestic partners, with international partners. And accordingly, we would like to make some progresses in this country. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Joy Bangla, Joy Bangabandhu, Bangladesh Chirojibi Hok. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you, sir, for your deliberation and encouraging us, as always, for the research and academic development of DAU. Now, we are at the end of our inaugural session, so we would like to request our inaugural session chair, Professor Dr. Bala, to deliver his speech and conclude the inaugural session.
Good morning, everybody. আমি সাধারণত সবসময় ইংলিশে বলি, আজকে একটু বাংলায় বলার আমার ইচ্ছা আছে, জীবনের শেষের দিকে অন্তত একটু বাংলায় প্র্যাকটিস করি। Agricultural transformation, role of appropriate scale mechanization and post-harvest loss innovations এর innovation শীর্ষক উদ্বোধনী অনুষ্ঠানের প্রধান অতিথি মাননীয় শিক্ষামন্ত্রী ডাক্তার দিপু মনি, উনি অলরেডি চলে গেছেন। বিশেষ অতিথি বরেণ্য ব্যক্তিত্ব জনাব এমডি নজরুল ইসলাম খান, কিউরেটর, ফাদার অফ দ্য নেশন, বাংলাদেশ বঙ্গবন্ধু শেখ মুজিবুর রহমান মেমোরিয়াল মিউজিয়াম এবং প্রাক্তন শিক্ষা সচিব, Chief Patron Dr. Lutful Hassan, Vice-Chancellor Bangladesh Agricultural University, এবং বিদেশ থেকে foreign delegates, especially Dr. Vara Prasad, Director Feed the Future, বিশেষ অতিথি foreign delegate Dr. Prasad Kalita, Director Appropriate Technology, Director Appropriate Scale Mechanization Consortium, বিশেষ অতিথি জেগার হারবে ফিড দ্য ফিউচার, আমন্ত্রিত অতিথিবৃন্দ এবং প্রেস এবং মিডিয়ার সদস্যবৃন্দ সবাইকে গুড মর্নিং এবং শুভ সভা। Global feed security is a challenge to meet the food requirement and nutritional requirement, and this is also a national frontier. Bangladesh is a densely populated country, and it has got limited land for crop production, and globally we are also passing through energy and food crisis. At this moment, or at this perspective, it is a high time to have a international symposium on appropriate scale mechanization and post-harvest loss reduction, so that we can have more food and as well as good crop production. And from this symposium, I hope and expect that there will be some deliberations and discussion on the work that has been conducted by Nazrul and his groups, and they will also that there will have some guidelines for the future work to increase crop production and to through technology transfer and to reduce the post-harvest losses. And বাংলাদেশের অভ্যুদয়ে বঙ্গবন্ধু সূচনা করেছিলেন এগ্রিকালচারাল উন্নয়নে, এবং 1973-তে তিনি ডিক্লেয়ার করেছিলেন এগ্রিকালচার ইউনিভার্সিটিতে কৃষি করেছিলেন বঙ্গবন্ধুর কৃষিবিদ class 1 officer, that was well known as বঙ্গবন্ধুর অবদান কৃষিবিদ class 1. বর্তমান শেখ হাসিনা সরকার, বঙ্গবন্ধু কন্যা শেখ হাসিনা সরকারও ভেরি কৃষি বান্ধব, and অনেক প্রায় উনি ওনার ডিফারেন্ট স্পিচে আমি দেখছি উনি কৃষির উপর যথেষ্ট গুরুত্ব আরোপ করেন, বিশেষ করে ক্রপ প্রোডাকশন, শস্য প্রোডাকশন, ক্রপ প্রোডাকশন এবং পোস্ট হারভেস্ট টেকনোলজির উপরেও যথেষ্ট গুরুত্ব আরোপ করেছেন। পরিশেষে I gratefully acknowledge the contributions of US aid, including guests from Kansas State University and University of Illinois for their contributions to the appropriate scale mechanization and post-harvest loss innovations. I hope and expect that this support and cooperation will continue in future. সকলকে ধন্যবাদ। জয় বাংলা, জয় বঙ্গবন্ধু, বাংলাদেশ চিরজীবী হোক।
Thank you, sir, for your valuable speech. Dear participants, now we will have a tea break for 15 minutes. We will start our technical session sharp at 11:25 a.m.